Alrighty guys, this is the RC FF2C. It is a light passenger plane with a rear cargo hold. To power on the plane, all you gotta do is turn on this breaker, and while this is off, the plane will not die. At the rear we have two cargo doors. Alright. And on either side of the plane, there are two passenger doors. To access the refueling gear, all you gotta do is flip the breaker and press the button. You got your pump, your disconnect, and your fuel gauge. There is a hatch on either side of the plane. When parked, there is a charging station for the plane. If you are using a tug for taxiing, you can also hook your tug up to the plane to keep the plane charged. Alright, to start the plane, you gotta turn on the controls, turn on the HUD, and turn on the fuel pump. And then give it some throttle, and turn on the compressor, which is one on the seat. And then once we get combustion, all you gotta do is turn off the compressor. Alrighty. Let's fuel up. When taxiing, do not go above 8 miles per hour. Otherwise you may damage the landing gear. Alrighty. While we are taxiing, we have the altitude, the compass, and the weather. We also have the nose cam, speedometer, and the TTD. This tells you how many minutes you have until your plane will run out of fuel at the current throttle that you are at. Right here is the landing gear indicator. This will tell you if the landing gear is up. This tells you if your altitude hold is on, and this tells you if heading hold is on. And right here is your fuel gauge. Alright, once you're on the runway, you can let go of the brake and put the throttle into the orange. This is your throttle indicator. Once you're in the air, press 2 to get your control stabilizer. This prevents the plane from rolling out of control if you give it any roll input, or pitch input, or yaw input. Also, once you're in the air, you can press 4 to put the landing gear up, and then we'll be following that waypoint. Right. When flying, you may want to step away from the cockpit so you can input an altitude here, and turn on the altitude hold, and the plane will fly to that altitude. Okay, we're already at that altitude, so it'll just hold us here. For heading hold, all you gotta do is press this button, and the plane will automatically start flying north until you turn this lever. To the right will take us east, then south, and to the left will take us west, then south. When flying south, do not turn the lever all the way to the right or left. Leave some buffer. Otherwise, if there is any deviation in the plane's flight, the plane will start doing circles. While we're in the air, and we have our holds on, I'll give you a tour of the plane. Every section of the plane has a light switch, and right here we have our 17 seats of passenger seating in the cabin. We have emergency exits for if you ever get stuck in the ocean. And this is the rear entry. And this is a decorative bathroom. And here's the light switch for the crew cabin. And then this is the cargo hold. When flying the plane can stall below 90 miles per hour. With extreme steering inputs, it can stall at a little above 100 miles per hour. The plane's max speed is 330 to 340 miles per hour. And the plane does have afterburners, but there's no reason to show those off at the moment. For landing, make sure your throttle is in the green. And when you are flying, make sure your throttle is in the orange. Otherwise, you'll be burning too much fuel. And just before touchdown, make sure the throttle is all the way off. Alright, we're going to do another pass by. And I might as well show off the afterburners right now. The afterburners only give you about 30 miles per hour of boost. That is how the plane achieves its 330 to 340 miles per hour. So before landing, make sure the brakes are up. Alrighty. Check to make sure your landing gear is down. And there we are. To turn off the plane, just turn off the fuel pump and make sure your throttle is at 0, and the engines will turn off eventually. When you park your plane, make sure that you go to the breaker box here and turn off the power. And then all the systems should be off.